Hello, my name is David L., and I'm the author of You Are Gods. It's available at Amazon.com in either a digital format or a hard copy. The easiest way to get your copy of You Are Gods today is to go to Amazon.com and do an author search by my name, David, and last name is spelled E-H-L, and it'll pull right up. You'll be able to order your copy today. In our video today, we're going to be talking about one of the chapters in the book, and it's based on a phrase in the Bible, the Son of Man. Now, I'd heard this phrase many times, and I'd read it many, many times in church, and I was always told that it was Jesus' title. But I thought it has to have a meaning. I mean, it can't be just this meaningless title. There must be some sort of implication to the term. And so I started researching it. The first thing I discovered was that the phrase is not exclusive to Jesus. It was used over 90 times by God when he was talking to the prophet Ezekiel. God actually referred to Ezekiel as the Son of Man. And I thought, hold on a second, that changes everything. It can't be an exclusive title. So I began to look at the original words in the Hebrew. And the phrase Son of Man is actually, in the original Hebrew, is Ben Adam. Ben meaning son, and Adam, which you've probably heard in English, is Adam. And Adam is a word that has multiple meanings in the Hebrew that don't translate clearly into the English. It means the name of the first man, a man, male, mankind, or human. And I was stunned. I thought that when Jesus was using the phrase the Son of Man, he was referring to himself in the third person, but actually he was referring to mankind. Because the phrase started out as Adam ben Adam, Adam and all of Adam's sons, so that they could differentiate between referring to one man and all of mankind. So it gets shortened from Adam ben Adam to Ben Adam, Adam's sons, and it can even be used by Jesus as simply Ben, meaning the Son. It is a way to use the phrase referring to all of mankind as if it's a single entity, the Son. And it really changes the meaning of some of the things that I thought Jesus has said. One of the biggest is in John chapter 3:13. Jesus said, "No one has ascended into heaven but he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man." I had always been taught we were created at birth, that we didn't exist prior to birth, and we came here, we were created when we were born, and that from then on out we were eternal beings. But that's not what Jesus said. Jesus said, you came from heaven, you're going back to heaven. And this is exactly what near-death experiences describe. When you go into all the near-death experiences, many, many, many of them describe existing prior to their life here on earth. Whether it be in another realm, whether it be in heaven, or even it being in another life here on earth. Reincarnation. We'll talk about that in another episode, but reincarnation was edited out of the Bible by the Romans. Having said that, back to our point, which is that you have always existed. You will always exist. You are a part of God. As it says in Psalm 82:6, I, the Most High God, say that all of you are gods and also my own children. So you are a God. You've always existed. You will always exist. You're just here temporarily inhabiting a human body. In fact, Jesus really was trying to describe this to tell people and make them understand that they are a God incarnate. He was referring to himself as having his heavenly Father, being one with the Father. But he was also saying that you have a Father, and that one is God. He said in Matthew 23:9, do not call anyone on earth your father, for one is your Father, he who is in heaven. And again, he also was talking about that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of spirit is spirit. John 3:6. What he was saying is, be born of spirit, not of the flesh. Another way of saying that is recognize that you are born of God, that you are God's child, that you are a God incarnate. If you act upon the basis that you are simply a physical human being inhabiting a physical body, and you have all the limitations of a human being, then that's all you'll ever be. You'll have only the abilities to do the things that humans have. But when you understand that you are God incarnate, that you are part of God, you are one with the Father, that you have one Father, that one is in heaven, and that is that you are spirit, not flesh, it changes everything. And for me, that was a huge transformation. It was born out. I didn't understand it in the scriptures, but I started reading it in near-death experiences where they describe absolutely everything as God. There's nothing that exists that's not God. And I started to realize that that meant that if everything is God, then I am too. It's like taking a bucket and dipping it in the ocean. You can dip it in the ocean, what you get is a bucket full of water. Well, it's still part of the ocean. It may not be in the ocean, but it's part of the ocean. And it's hard to describe the ocean without water being in it. I mean, it doesn't exist without water. So understanding that you are just like that you're as much like God as God is, you're just a portion of God, a part of God, but still that makes you connected to God. It makes you one with God, as Jesus said. You are one with the Father just as much as He was. And that is transformative. In the next few episodes, we'll start talking about the kingdom of heaven and how the kingdom of heaven, understanding that you're a citizen of heaven, and how this gives you power and authority. So thank you and have a good day.